Hello everyone! I am here today actually on camera. That doesn't happen very often because, generally speaking, I don't like to be on camera. But you know, right now in this weird time of coronavirus lockdown and the crazy state of the world, I felt like I needed just to do a keeping it real video. So, we'll go with that today. So first of all, look at my background here. As you can see, this is not a fancy schmancy scrap area. This is the real state of where I scrapbook. I have a partially finished basement, and this isn't actually where I sit when I scrap. I'm actually in a different corner, but I wanted to show you all those boxes behind me. Guess what? We've lived in this house for 2 years, and yeah, look at that. Now, to be fair, that's because a lot of that is my husband's glassware that he's collected over the years. He used to be a bartender, kind of in a former life, and has lots and lots of specialty glassware, and we just really don't have anywhere to put it in this house, so it stays in those boxes. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is COVID scrapping. How's it going for you guys? I've noticed that since we've been in lockdown, my state is still partially in lockdown. I'm in Minnesota, and our governor is on a partial reopening plan right now, which I'm totally fine with. I don't have a desire to be out there with a bunch of people when stuff is still swirling around. I don't want it. So I'm fine with that. But I've noticed that because I'm home more, I'm doing a lot more scrapping, which is great. I'm glad I'm getting things done. It doesn't really take the place of being in person with my other scrappy friends, but for now, I'll just take the productivity and be happy. But what are you guys doing? Are you scrapping more? Are you scrapping less? I've heard some people say they just don't have the mojo right now to do it because there's just a lot of anxiety and upset in the world, and so they don't feel like scrapping. And you know, if that's you, that's okay. I do have days where I feel like that, but most of the time I try to get excited that I have a creative outlet that I can still do in this time. So I do want to share one thing. I'm not doing a lot of actual scrappy stuff here, but I want to show this. I recently bought this. Living the Quarantine Life by Photoplay. I love it. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it yet, but I love it. And I am going to pause here and show you some layouts that I've already done that have to deal with lockdown and coronavirus and all that stuff, just so you can see other things I've done, because that's not something that I would normally show on this channel. So here's one layout that I put together. And I think these cards are from, I want to say they're from the Practical Scrapper. But I did this layout, as you can see, right after I got back from Europe, which was March 12th. Basically 2 days after that, or whatever that Monday was, we went into lockdown in my state. So I barely got back before that all happened, and I didn't catch it when I was over there. Actually, in Ireland and Wales, it was no big deal. When I was there, everybody was washing their hands. You didn't see very many masks yet, but people were keeping their distance already, and there was just a very different mindset of, oh yeah, you know, they're saying this is what we have to do, so we'll do it. So it was actually quite easy to get around and be around people at a safe distance. I felt good with that. But I wrote about my experience as soon as I was back in the US. Quite different, that's for sure. This is another layout that I did talking about how we have been spending more time together as a family because of this. Because we can't go out and do a lot of things, we're kind of stuck together. We're all just hanging out together. Why not document it? My birthday is May 1st, and so not much happening this year. Couldn't go anywhere. Normally, the weekend leading up to my birthday, there's an event here called Art in Bloom, where our big art museum has flower arrangements that match the art pieces, and I go every year. Well, this year they canceled it. Didn't happen, so I couldn't do that. And then I had also planned after that event to go out of town scrapping with some of my girlfriends. Well, couldn't do that either. So my birthday was pretty lame this year, but I documented it because I wanted to remember what it was like to go through this pandemic and how that affected even small things like having a birthday. So there's the rest of it there. And here's another layout here of taking food over to my brother's house for Cinco de Mayo. We made homemade enchiladas and salsa and took them over, and my nieces, I had to not hug them or kiss them and keep my distance, and it was very difficult. This is a layout that I did about having to scrap with my girlfriends via Skype. And what that looks like, how it's different, but we like the fact that we can still get together. And then we have kind of a group text going about different things. Some are related to scrapping, some are not, but it's a way for us to stay connected. This layout, I just realized it does have a swear word. I forgot about it, so apologies for that. Just don't look if you don't want to see it. But this is another one about scrapping with my friends. One of my friends sent that to us, and we had a very, very good laugh about it, and we needed that. So it was a good thing. So that's the most of actual scrapping you're probably going to see today. I'm not putting anything together, but at least you got to see some layouts I've been working on related to the pandemic. Now, one of the other things I want to say is that in my videos, most of them I record way ahead of time. So we're keeping it real today. This is real time. But normally I'm doing them way ahead. Because of my job and my kids and just life in general, it's easier for me to do videos when I have time. So some of what I'm scrapping now will not come out until October or November, or that's the plan anyway. So it's not necessarily happening at the moment that you see it, but I wanted to be honest about that's how I do things because I have to manage a schedule. I do also want to talk a little bit about some upcoming projects that I have, and I think I've mentioned them in some of my videos if you've been following along. That trip that I took when I had just come back before the whole lockdown happened was to Ireland and Wales. And actually in Ireland I only went to Dublin. I needed to stay on that side of the island in order to get that ferry to Wales, so I only had time to do Dublin. I'd been there before, but I did some things, a couple of things I have partially done before and then some new things, so it's really fun. But I will be working on Ireland and Wales coming up. It may not come out until 2021, but I'll be working on it. And I wanted to show just a couple of things. Just paper. Look at that, how cute is that? And then this is actually, if I can grab it here, the Samuel Beckett Bridge in Dublin. Now, I don't scrap 12 by 12 anymore unless it's my special request, but I know I can take that paper and cut it down to fit either 6 by 12 or 6 by 8. So that is my plan, is to do that, and then I can use it that way. And then, because I saw several castles in both Dublin and Wales, I had to buy this line of paper. This is from Photoplay. It's called Dragons and Dreams. Look at that. Castles. Have to do it. And then on this side, both sides are cute. This side, dragons, castles, banners, love it. And then this, I am dying to use this. So if you haven't seen this line, you need to. It's fantastic. So look at all those stickers. And there is a red dragon on here that is very similar, and it says "rawr" in red, very similar to the dragon that is out front of Cardiff Castle in Cardiff, Wales. And so I already know I'm using a bunch of this stuff for that because it'll be perfect. So the last thing that I am going to mention today is something positive. I'm actually going to give a little plug here for a friend. I have a friend who has a digital scrapbooking company. Basically, you can give anything you want in terms of photos for a calendar or an anniversary album, anything digital that you would want made that maybe you don't want to do yourself. She will do that for you. She will have a personal consultation with you to find out what you want to include, help you with designing and pricing and all of that. And it's an extra positive thing because she is actually disabled. She is a friend of mine who had an accident multiple years ago and became quadriplegic. So this is her business. This is her lifeline, her way of financing things, so to speak, and I would love to give a plug for that. So if you have any inclination at all to create a digital project and you want to help a female business owner and someone who's, you know, trying to make it while having a disability, it would be greatly appreciated. Just check out her site. I'll link it below. And if you have any other questions on anything I've said, let me know. Send me some comments. Let me know how things are going during the virus lockdown, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.